Movie Wars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Movie Wars podcast.
Woo-hoo!
I'm Kyle.
I'm Seth, and we got back with us, friend of the podcast, just off the Nateland at Sea cruise, Mr.
Yeah.
John Datoy, everybody.
I almost said fresh off the ship.
I think as long as fresh off the boat.
But yeah, dude, how was it?
It was amazing, man. I mean, Dustin Chafin, you guys had him.
Yes,
He
love
was-
that guy.
He was hilarious.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, and it's just honestly, Nate's got the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good family experience. So
Amazing.
Yeah. He's and I really respect him. Like I respect the fact that he's everywhere he goes, like he was just on Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he takes it with him.
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
But like anytime I've only talked to Nate a few times and he wouldn't remember me for shit, but like the person he is on stage is, and you can probably attest more than anybody because you're around him a lot, but he is that person off stage. He takes that with him everywhere he goes. Is that accurate?
yeah, it is because I think Nate is still figuring out like how famous he actually is.
Yes.
and he's so dang surprised about it all the time.
Yeah.
So, but he's worked for it. So
Yeah. I can't go a week where at least I can tell you at least once or twice a week the past, like since he's become famous, where people bring him up in a conversation or because they know I did stand up. It's like, what do you think of Nate? And like he comes up all the time.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
If you ever want to come on the podcast, Nate, we love you. We want to have you on.
We'll keep it clean for you.
Always.
He reviews his own movie, The Breadwinner.
Yes. Yes.
That actually would be kind of cool.
I'd do it.
It'd be funny. But anyway, we're so glad you're back, man. You
It's
were
good to be
some
back.
of our fans' favorite episodes were the ones you did of the Northman.
The Northman
Yeah.
and Tintin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
The
and
best
I
movie
versus
ever.
Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a reminder, our format is we're going to go through a little film history. We do the randos, which are the most interesting factoids in film trivia that we discover and research. Then we do the questions, which are meant to generate fun banter and discussion. And then we end with the scorecard, the War Zone, which is 4 categories that we use to say yes or no to the film.
And today we've got one hell of a movie. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long time and just haven't had a reason to. But Scream 7 comes out in a few days. And so we decided we'd go back to the very beginning, 1996, back to the original Scream. And this is my first time seeing it. I've seen Scary Movie, which I love that Scary Movie is a parody of a movie that is a parody of Wes Craven in general. And this was so well done. I forgot when I first started it that it was going to be a satire. And I love the little moments of dialogue where they go full meta. But if you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't realize that they're literally telling you what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so well put together.
Yeah.
It's like ironic. Honestly,
Yeah.
the whole entire thing is. So, yeah.
And what a bold move killing off Drew Barrymore in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel, because I know she has had several ups in her career, but I feel like that was the first big up that she had, where she was a household name. People loved her, and they thought she was going to be the star of the movie, and then just gets wiped out in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was cool to see that, like, no one's safe.
Yeah,
Like, right
legitimately.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, Scream 7, you think by now it'd be called Horse. You know? just raspy.
Frog in my throat.
Just can't scream anymore. I lost my voice.
Scream 7, wheeze.
I was sitting here just waiting to stick that in there. I was just like, you guys were talking. I was like, I don't even know what they're saying. I got to jump.
yeah.
It's crazy to me, though, that Courtney Cox has not been killed in all 7 movies.
Yeah. And Nev Campbell. Yeah.
You know, and this is Courtney Cox during a time where she, I don't know if this is like a rando that has nothing to do with Scream, but Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston dated Adam Duritz from The Counting Crows at the same time, and they didn't know it. Did you know?
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
That
this-
is hilarious.
And they were both doing Friends at the time.
And this
too.
is Friends, like
Oh,
Friends
gee.
on its apex. I mean, by 96, Friends is already at the top, and
Yeah.
it still has room to climb.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Oh,
Courtney
man.
Cox and Jennifer Aniston are huge. And then The Counting Crows, one of my favorite bands of all time. Long December, and I'm dating Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox at the same time, and they didn't know it.
Unbeknownst to each other.
Unbeknownst.
That is incredible.
Kinda
He's a
cute.
master.
Well, I love that
kinda
this is the
cute.
movie that she met David Arquette on.
I know.
And then there was that one season where for the season opener, she had just married him.
Yeah.
And they changed everybody in the cast last name to Arquette because she put Arquette. It was Courtney Cox Arquette, and so they changed everyone's last name. It was Jennifer Aniston Arquette, and it's so good.
They were always really good about bringing on the lovers of whoever the actors were dating. Like when Jennifer Aniston's with Brad Pitt and he's on the show.
What a great episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, this is turning into a Friends podcast. Let's go. Let's do it.
Fuck movies. We're only talking about Friends from now on.
Early 2000s.
There should be a Friends show.
I'm sure there's like 10.
Oh, yeah.
15, yeah.
Let's get into this amazing history, though. So you already mentioned the Drew Barrymore thing. There's a whole interesting thing there. But Kevin Williamson, the writer, and you'll probably recognize his name from Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
I think
R.I.P. James Vanderbeek.
Yes.
Oh my God.
48,
2 days ago,
with 4 kids or 5 little kids.
Yeah, shocking.
But Kevin Williamson was broke at the time. It was Palm Springs. He wasn't even living in Hollywood. He was living in Palm Springs. It was 1994. There was a lot of stuff in the news about the Gainesville Ripper. And he actually had written Teaching Miss Tingle was that was the first thing he'd wrote. And he was pitching that. No one wanted it. And then
is that the sequel to Driving Miss Daisy?
Driving Miss Daisy.
The sequel.
Yeah. And then I'm Sorry, Miss Robinson. And then and this all the old lady names. Yeah.
Miss Tingle, what a name.
I know, right? And then what's the other one? There's another, the Matt Damon one that got remade as a show. The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We could just go through all the multi-syllabic name movies. But yeah, so he's sitting there and he has this idea. He's with friends. They're listening to the Halloween soundtrack, and he like has this idea.
Yeah, he got it in the world.
Yeah. And they were starting to actually ask each other, like they were just for some reason they were listening to Halloween, so they started doing horror movie trivia. And then like all of a sudden the Gainesville Ripper stuff is happening, and he has this idea. He writes the script in 72 hours.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, come
on, indie people. We can do it. We can write a great movie in 72 hours.
Writer's block is not real.
Cabin in the Woods was also written in a single weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Joss Whedon and his writing partner just barricaded themselves in a hotel room for a whole weekend and got it banged out.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to go to a Days Inn.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Night's Inn down the road.
Snort some Ajax and...
There we go.
Yeah. Just fucking get in there. You know? Like a tick. Man, I'm in a good mood today.
Seriously, I'm on my second cup of coffee. Let's go.
Tacos for lunch. Yeah. You know what the original title of this movie was? Scary Movie.
Oh, that's amazing.
Up until 6 months.
Wow.
Which is crazy because they had already picked the mask for Ghostface, but the mask is it's like a Edvard Munch, the Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what it's meant to look like, but it wasn't called Scream when they picked it. But then 6 months before the movie was released, they renamed it to Scream. And then but we have it's kind of a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because Scary Movie came out in the late, like 99, 2000,
yeah,
somewhere around
I was gonna
there?
say, like,
and they are funny.
Yeah. They're the first one, especially.
With Anna
is
Faris?
insane.
Yeah.
That was her prime.
Fun fact, my uncle was a background actor in Scary Movie 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I still haven't seen it.
The stuff of legend. Well, you're probably not, I mean, by that time. Yeah.
3 was 4 was terrible.
Yeah. So Wes Craven wanted out of what he called the horror ghetto because after he did Vampire in Brooklyn, it bombed. And he said no twice. So after he said no twice, they looked at Robert Rodriguez, Sam Raimi, and even Quentin Tarantino was in the mix a little bit.
Okay, I will say this. Tarantino would have made this insane. It would have been a very different movie, but it would have been so good.
It would have been more artistic.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
There would have been a world where I think both could exist. I think this Scream and a Quentin Tarantino Scream can both exist and 100%. Be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just even imagine the phone conversation at the beginning in the open scene. Like, what would he have done with that dialogue?
Oh, my God. Who knows? Started just talking about sucking toes.
Yeah.
Someone's obviously in a diner. Just like...
You just have Samuel Jackson as the Scream guy.
Exactly.
Hang up on me again, motherfucker.
Speaking of the beginning, rest in peace, Steve. I'm sorry that you were on screen for 3 seconds and then you got gutted. Rough night for Steve. Can we all just agree? Poor Steve. We never got to know him.
No.
But Craven said the only reason he would do it is if they made him an offer that he couldn't refuse, and they did. They made him a good offer and decided to do it. And then, so for casting, Drew Barrymore was originally supposed to be Sydney.
Oh, okay.
And nobody really knows the commitment. Some people think it might have been rehab, but she ended up accumulating some commitments. But she was the original champion of this movie. Like, she wanted to be Sydney. She loved the script. She was kind of in a weird place.
She went to rehab?
Well, that was one of the things that they say that may have been happening. No one knows what her commit was because I don't think it was another film.
Okay.
But she ended up having commitments that let her not do the whole filming schedule.
Got it.
And so,
all right.
but even though she was supposed to be Sydney, but she still wanted to do it. And so that's where they kind of got into this, like, kind of tricking them. And it also honestly ended up being an homage to Psycho, because in the first 30 minutes of Psycho, that happens in the shower scene. So like, they thought their starlet was supposed to be the whole movie. And that happened with Drew Barrymore, and she's on the poster.
Yeah.
So I love it. Like, I love that was like a little kind of.
It was
like
a nice
bold
switch.
move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so originally that part was written originally Sydney was written for Molly Ringwald.
Oh.
Yeah. But she was 27, and she actually told Kevin Williamson, "I'm too old."
Okay.
And
good for her.
Yeah.
I very much respect when actors, because I've actually had to do this before. I've been sent auditions where I'm just like, I am not right for this character at all. So
Like playing a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
Gee. I know. It's just always funny when they cast someone who's is really old for like a high school student.
Yeah.
It's always
like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, which he's my favorite Spider-Man, but he definitely was like 32 when he did that.
He's too posh. He's too posh.
My dad actually is friends with one of the heads of marketing at Sony, and they were talking about because this was back when he was still Spider-Man. And his friend was just like, yeah, we're hoping to make the next Spider-Man before Andrew Garfield starts collecting Social Security. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Or goes through puberty.
Yeah. At 38.
Yeah. Reese Witherspoon was considered too, but she was considered too young looking.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like Reese Witherspoon.
But like, I imagine her from American Psycho, and she definitely would have looked too young.
Yes.
I would see her more as Tatum in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's Rose McGowan's character, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nev Campbell screen tested. Everyone was trying to like top her energy, right? Like, everyone tried to bring more energy, but they liked Nev's energy. And she already played a character on Party of Five, and her mom died in that show too. And so they're like, you already play a person whose mom died, so let's get you in here.
Yeah.
Which
is one of my favorite lines when Skeet Ulrich is just like, it's like when my mom and dad split and she left, and she's like, yeah, your mom left and my mom's dead.
Yeah.
What a great moment.
I think she actually does have range, but she just doesn't give off a lot here. Yeah.
No.
I think she's, which you don't have to.
When
It's a horror movie.
Trauma. Yeah. You're like,
but she's always got this look she's kind of squinty.
Exactly.
A little squinty.
But it kind of matched the character. Like, I don't know. Nothing.
Yeah.
That is one of the few things like about movies in this genre that this never had a moment where anyone felt out of place. Like, everyone really embodied who they were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I think I've had a hard time finding the origin of the mask, but in the script it just said ghostly white mask is all it said. They had designers making gargoyle mask and goblins, and they rejected everything. And then they found this Halloween mask at a place called Fun World. It was Fun World. And I think I had a grandma who I didn't know very well who worked at Fun World.
Amazing.
And Halloween was their Super Bowl, right?
Hell yeah.
I mean, Halloween was like, all right, let's do some coke and go to the store. Peanut-Eyed Ghost was what they called it on the label.
Okay.
That was what it was called, Peanut-Eyed Ghost. It was mass-produced since 1991, and Bob Weinstein was the one that said, it's goofy and audiences will laugh. Craven said he knew in his bones that it would be unique.
Yeah.
They licensed it for $100 in a credit in the credits.
Amazing.
And there's only 2 different masks that they actually used in the film.
And it's become so iconic.
It has.
Like, probably the most, outside of Michael Myers, like probably the most iconic mask in horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a few more tidbits. It initially got an NC-17 rating, which is interesting because
For no nudity,
and not that violent. Even when they gut Steve, you really have to look.
Yeah.
You have to stare.
Yeah. That the distance was what? Yeah. That's weird.
It took 9 submissions to get it down.
interesting.
9?
Yeah.
I would love to see the first cut and see how much like grosser it was then.
And this is post Halloween too. Which is like,
Yep. And it says the problem wasn't the blood, it was the intensity. And they only had to cut 7 seconds total to get it down to an R. So 9 submissions to get 7 seconds out of a movie.
Just whittling off a quarter second at a time.
The biggest line the MPAA objected to was movies don't create psychos, movies make psychos more creative. They had a huge problem with that line because they knew the movie was meta, but now we're actually getting into like something that, and you have to remember, in '96 we're getting off Tipper Gore. Getting parental advisories on rap records and saying rap is ruining children, and there was this huge push for censorship of art, and like so this I feel like that's tail ended.
And on top of that, you were pretty freshly coming out of like the serial killer era of the U.S. where we just had like Ted Bundy and so many other people like that had gotten really famous from being serial killers like right then and there. So I guess that. It's stupid, but it does make a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Do you think that if he had not said that, like he wrote that based off of the Gainesville murders, they would have been like, it's R.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What it says is Bob Weinstein he's the one that convinced him, and Bob Weinstein said that they'll view it as satire.
Huh.
He was trying to say it's kind of like tongue in cheek. I'm like, talking, Chong.
Cut that, Matt.
I can't even speak.
Good for you, Bob Weinstein, being the less shitty Weinstein.
I know, right? That is true. Then that is some of the undertone here. That's probably how Tarantino was getting added to the list too. Was that the Weinsteins?
Well, yeah, this is Miramax, right?
Yeah.
No, the Weinsteins love Tarantino, so yeah, that makes sense.
So this movie, $15 million budget, and at first they thought it was going to flop. It opened fourth place at $6.35 million. They called it dead on arrival. Word of mouth exploded. The second weekend it got 9.1, then 10 million to third, and then it climbed to number one. After 4 weeks.
So this was a slow burn.
Yeah, it stayed on top for 9 consecutive weeks. It stayed in the top 10, and it made 173 million worldwide.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
And it was made in until 2018's Halloween, it was the highest grossing slasher of all time.
Nice.
11 times return on investment, and this is a fun way to categorize it. Jamie Kennedy's first residual check doubled his entire salary to make the movie.
Amazing.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good.
So funny.
Love hearing success stories like that.
Yeah, me too.
Especially Markiplier just put out Iron Lung on his $3 million totally self-funded budget. As of recording this podcast on February 15th, it had hit $45 million worldwide.
Wow.
No distribution deal, no studios involved, literally just him negotiating directly with theaters. And he's also about to put it out on fully physical medium so that people can actually like buy it. So he's quite possibly going to double his money from what he's already made just on DVD sales and Blu-ray sales.
Yeah.
Like we need this more. We need more independent filmmaking to like crush.
More risk taking.
That and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck giving equity to their entire team.
Yes, we need this kind of change in the industry. And the fact that like with Iron Lung, he's made 15 times his budget. Not even Christopher Nolan's best performing movie has ever made 15 times its budget.
Yeah.
This is unheard of, especially for in the industry what would be a no-name filmmaker to make this much money off of a movie.
Yeah.
So we need more of this. Hollywood, listen to us.
Yeah. Maybe your mom was a huge slut. And she slept with your friend's dad from school.
Yeah.
And it's your fault.
And maybe your Johnny Depp lookalike boyfriend really doesn't like that and wants to kill you now.
And gets his friend.
Yeah. The way to cure all this is to share Movie Wars.
With everyone.
It's so easy. You go to your app, you go to Spotify, YouTube, there's a share button, you mash it, you kind of like a knife in the gut. And you mash it and you do it again and you send it to your friends and then you scream.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you save your family.
Scream until you're hoarse.
And then you support John Datoy's comedy.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
As well as Seth's.
Love you. Share Movie Wars. Oh, and subscribe to YouTube.
Yes. We're so close. We're so close on YouTube.
Yeah, but some of the most searing comments lately are also on YouTube. Lord have mercy.
I will say, I only get called fat on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been getting the most. I'm actually thankful that you finally, we've been doing this together long enough that you have taken the equal amount of ire. Because for the longest time.
Was it a flip?
It's been a little bit of a flip.
People used to come after me so hard in the comments. But now you're someone said you're a dweeb?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude with the beard's a dweeb. And I responded with a gif of the dude being like, well, that's just your opinion, man.
And then another person said you are insufferable.
I love it. Bring it at me, y'all.
He likes it. I'm sensitive, so I don't like it. How do you deal with it? You like comments?
I just talked to Seth about
Oh,
it.
okay.
I just get texts at 11 o'clock at night. He's like, they called me a dumbass.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
And
cute.
we work out. So
Yeah, we pump iron.
Yeah.
we do.
I cry in the corner.
Yeah, to answer your question with no posts on Instagram, yes, I do work out, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we do it 4 times a week minimum.
yes,
That's right.
including today.
Yeah,
Not-
and Kyle's our trainer.
That's right.
From afar.
That's
He
right,
zooms
baby.
in.
So, Pectorals. I just had to say a muscle name. That's Rando.
Randos.
Speaking of randos. The murder of Principal Henbury was added by Bob Weinstein because they said that they had gone too long. There was too big of a gap between deaths.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and so they tossed it in there. And
Also, who doesn't want a fun killing of Henry Winkler?
yeah,
Like, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
and huge shout out to him here. He didn't want to be credited for the movie
Really?
because he
Really?
said he did not want to take away from the young actors. He wanted them.
Oh, good for you,
He
bro.
said, well, and I was doing a little research on that. Like in 1977, like he was the biggest name on TV.
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So he had his time. He thought it was great that he was getting killed. Like he just loved it, and he's like, give it to the kids.
Yeah.
Don't
And
don't
it
even,
had humor already, so like
Yeah.
his derivative, yeah.
yeah. When he's playing with the mask,
It's so good.
it's so funny. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect him to die. Like he was the most random person to die.
Yeah. But he handled it so well.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good.
Speaking of dying, the guy that played cameraman Kenny nearly actually died on set. A stunt driver unexpectedly accelerated at full speed when he was lying on the roof to film that scene. The only way he kept him from dying is the stunt man. This must be a great stunt man, besides the fact that he almost killed him. He grabbed the cuff link of his pant leg and kept him from flying off the roof.
Amazing.
So it was both his fault, but he also pulled off an amazing miracle.
All right.
Yeah, there
all
you
right.
go.
You
Doesn't
get
have to
off
be.
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Denzel Washington in Flight. Like, yeah, he saved the plane, but he was
Oh, yeah.
also drunk.
Yeah. He
So
was
it's
on
kind of like
cocaine,
you shouldn't
so-
get drunk and
Where
fly.
are morals?
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't get drunk and fly a plane. But that was a pretty cool stunt, bro. That was pretty cool.
I mean, it was upside down.
That was pretty cool. In addition to Drew Barrymore voluntarily surrendering the role, there's some really funny stuff here. So she accidentally called 911 multiple times on the phone.
Oh, really?
During takes. Maybe this is why she had to go to rehab.
You would think you wouldn't plug the phone in.
Yeah, why are we using a live phone?
Yeah.
You don't use live ammunition. You don't use live landlines.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah. That is a good shirt. That's a
would
movie
be
war shirt.
That would be a movie war shirt.
Yeah. Don't use live ammunition. Don't use live landlines. And also to make this is insane. And if you've ever, and I don't know how I've seen Drew Barrymore's talk show. I don't do it on purpose. It's usually someone showing me a clip.
Yeah.
She's very cry-y,
Yeah.
very emotional.
Still
And
love you.
I still love you and I respect you. To make Barrymore cry more authentically, Craven told her real stories of animal cruelty in between takes, including a boy who set his dog on fire.
Oh my God.
Gee.
I
Man.
could totally see that working for her though, where she's just like, but the dog, oh no. It just, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Is Craven a crazy dude?
Yes.
I mean, Lord have mercy.
you have to be to make full-time horror movies.
Well, and to be called the Prince of Horror or whatever he got,
Yeah.
you know. And this is also interesting because he was interested in this meta thing because he did the new Nightmare movie, which I don't think you've seen it yet. But that's the Freddy Krueger meta movie where all the actors play themselves. Wes Craven plays himself, Robert Englund, and it's the idea. It's like the whole idea that movies can bring real evil into the world.
Okay.
And it's kind of making fun of that idea. So Freddy Krueger gets introduced into the real world through
That's cool.
Heather Langenkamp.
Through this vehicle, yeah.
And I'm going to get a lot of hate for this because a lot of Freddy Krueger fans, which I am, hate that movie. I love it, and I actually think it's more meta and better than this one.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
But it's very good. I'm just putting that out there now. But they're both
Very
great.
good.
It's very good.
Tremendous.
You did a Trump, and then I just did a random. I only do Jamaican accents or have a stroke. Those are my two.
And when he does it together, you get Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, that's right. That's
There we
right.
go.
And lots of eye blinking.
Yeah.
As opposed to other kinds of blinking. Roger Jackson did the voice of Ghostface. I'm fucking struggling, man.
Ooh.
I started off strong, and I'm dying. Now I'm dying. Roger Jackson did the voice of Ghostface on the phone. That's so hard to say.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a temporary placeholder, and they were going to later dub it with actor Tom Kane's voice.
Oh, interesting.
But he kept Jackson's performance because he felt like it was intelligent evil. And so Peter Jackson was forbidden to meet any cast member in person because he wanted there to be distance, like from what
Peter Jackson?
Sorry, Roger Jackson.
Okay.
Peter Jackson was also forbidden from the set. Yeah.
Because he was 8 years old.
Because he was 8. He was 8 and he was living in New Zealand at the time. Stay away from Scream, Peter Jackson. These tacos are hitting me just right. But yeah, so Roger Jackson was forbidden from meeting any cast member to pursue genuine fear in their reactions. I'm having a good day. At least you guys are laughing.
Was it kind of like similar to who is it in Psycho? Not in American Psycho, where he wasn't. They had to do 3 takes. He just wanted.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. Yeah, so that like it could. Oh, that's interesting.
They did the same thing in we covered another movie where they did that. Where Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah.
Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Same thing. So they tried to keep distance between them so that the scenes were more hair raising.
I mean, I like that though, because like there's a certain unfamiliarity you need to have with a character like that. And when the actors have too much camaraderie, it's really hard to kind of separate yourself from that. That's why what we did Saving Private Ryan, I really loved that he purposefully kept Matt Damon away from everybody so that they resented the ever-living shit out of him when he showed up on screen.
Yeah.
Like that, you do things like that. And I know some people are like, but they're actors. They should just do it. I'm like, yeah, sure.
But they're human beings.
They're human beings, and it's your job as the director to make sure that the pathway that they take to be able to do those things is the easiest pathway possible.
Yeah.
So I like that. That's really cool.
Agreed. And this is the funniest final rando. During the kitchen finale, Ulrich and Lillard stayed in character between takes, and so they're like pulsing around the room. They said they were roaming around like caged animals. And Craven eventually asked them to stop because they were genuinely frightening Courtney Cox.
Who's not even in frame.
Yeah, she's not even in the scene, and she's like...
She's in her trailer, and she's like, I just feel the energy, and I just can't do this.
She's literally only done Friends, so she's like, this is not how we do things on Friends.
She's like, David Schwimmer can barely act, and I can't do the meta thing or the method thing you're doing right now. Yeah,
I never quite understand or buy into the romance between her and Dewey. I for the longest time, I thought she was manipulating him.
Me too.
But then it felt like it was real. But then
I feel like it started as her manipulating him, and it was supposed. And I'll bet you there's a scene or two that ended up being cut out that probably explained it a little better. But my guess is, character-wise, she was trying to play him at first, and then thought he was adorable, and so went, was like, oh, okay, yeah, I like him.
Yeah. So the questions. I love this question. So I mentioned earlier, Robert Rodriguez, Sam Raimi, and Quentin Tarantino were all considered. Which of those would you want to see? Which Scream?
Oh, honestly, as fun as I think Tarantino's version would be, I would have loved to have seen 1990s Robert Rodriguez handle this. I think he would have been a very different movie, but I think it would have been a very fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tarantino, just because they're already breaking the fourth wall multiple times. I want to see to what levels they could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think
just a bunch of gratuitous foot shots in the middle of it.
I literally think all three of them could have done a great job.
Absolutely.
I think it's hard to pick one, but I am just curious what Tarantino does with the dialogue.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing is that Kevin Williamson went on to write a lot of teen TV shows.
He just walks on screen randomly and starts saying the N-word for no reason.
Yes. Yes. And all of a sudden just seeding racism into the movie. Like, we don't have any racism yet. It's 30 minutes in and there's no racism. Where is it?
Where are the black people?
Yes. Come on. Samuel L. Jackson's got my back. But I do think it would have been really interesting to see what he would have done. I think Sam Raimi has already established himself as such a unique horror voice. But Robert Rodriguez, because when did From Dusk Till Dawn come out?
Possibly the same year.
Yeah.
I think it was 96, maybe 97, but yeah.
That was such a grimy, gritty movie.
I still need to see it all. I've only seen bits and pieces.
Tarantino's character in that movie is so just blah. I actually think that would have taken this teen edge off of Sheen, or the sheen off of it. I don't think I don't know that it would have been a teen movie in his hands.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
would
don't
have
know.
been.
It still would have been really interesting. Though.
Yeah. And then because then he started doing the Spy Kids movies. He kind of walked away from grimy, gritty stuff.
But see, at the same
That's
time,
right.
the Spy Kids movie, they were the grimy, gritty kids movies of the day. Like it took on such a vastly different feel than any other kids movie that came out in the 90s and 2000s that it still feels like a Rodriguez movie.
Right.
So I think, I don't know. I feel like he could have pulled off keeping it a teen kind of movie, but still give it the grit that it needed.
Yeah. Did you give your final answer? I couldn't.
Yeah, I did Tarantino.
Okay, cool. Let's make
I
sure.
also feel like Tarantino, like I thought the dialogue about how they were just talking about Jamie Lee Curtis's tits for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, that would be a Tarantino thing to
Yeah.
be like. I've been thinking about this lately.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this in the script. So
Yeah. That would have been a 25-minute
great
dialogue.
they would have been a monologue.
Yeah.
honestly.
The entire movie is just the Hateful Eight, but only talking about Jamie Lee Curtis's tits.
And there would have been long pauses in between.
Yeah.
Just like of people staring at each other. Yeah. I love it. Now I got to have it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that vignette, even if it's just a 30-minute vignette.
Come back, Tarantino. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Make it 9.5. It doesn't have to be your 10th movie.
Watch him announce his 10th movie as Scream 8. Yeah,
I mean, he almost did a Star Trek movie.
yeah, it's true. This is an interesting question because, and I'm only relating this to the fact that it was the highest grossing slasher until 2018.
Yeah.
Which is a long time.
Yeah.
Does that make it the greatest slasher film ever made?
If it wasn't a satire, I would agree.
Yeah.
Simply because it's a satire, I think it sets it apart from an Alien or a Terminator or a Friday the 13th or any of those other movies.
Right.
It's the only defining line for me to feel like that it just can't be named the best because it is a satire and it is a meta. Like that can't be the king of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost too artistic.
Yeah.
Like, as weird as that sounds.
No,
Like,
definitely.
Like that opening sequence is like, this is almost cool.
Yeah.
And I don't think about that when I think of slasher. So
Yeah.
I think it's like top 3.
Yeah.
Because this definitely was way more character driven than most slashers are.
Yeah.
So it's almost a little too good to be considered the best slasher.
Yeah, too much development.
It's too smart.
Yeah,
It's too
absolutely.
smart.
Yeah.
No, legitimately.
It's
though. I mean,
legitimately too intelligent.
You compare it to when we did Nightmare on Elm Street, and Nightmare on Elm Street, it comes close to hitting that too smart level, but it follows that line really well.
Yeah.
This, and I think it needed to in order to do what they did, it crossed over into being too smart too many times.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it was like you felt okay when you left the theater. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
You weren't like, I'm gonna go turn every light on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you also have to, and one thing I forgot to go through in my history was that horror was in the dumps during this time. It was
90s horror was not good.
It was Leprechaun sequels.
Yeah.
It was like
Yep.
straight to video sequels
I mean-
too.
Wow.
Children of the Corn 7.
Yeah.
Was straight to video. Like it was that was the time we're talking about here.
We all agree the OG Terminator should be considered like sci-fi horror, right?
Yeah.
yes.
So,
Absolutely.
But then you hit the 90s and horror was at such a downturn that I feel like T2 had to go action in order to survive.
Yeah.
Like if it had tried to stay as a grounded horror movie, I don't think it could have worked.
Techno noir.
Yeah. And so I feel like everything in the 90s shifted away from horror and more towards those action. And especially with the advent of CGI, you were starting to get these like really out there fantasy and sci-fi topics that weren't necessarily horror. Because even Jurassic Park, as much as it is kind of horror, it's still an action adventure movie.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I mean, honestly, too, like, I can't think of like, when it comes to like the development of slasher, like it really was a gap. I feel like,
Yeah.
because like everything else became like, then we got introduced into like A24 into like the 2010s.
And they've really brought back the slasher idea in a very artistic way.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I give it. I kind of agree with you. It's kind of hard to say it's the greatest because it's acting on the intelligence that it has on all the other ones. I will say though, like, and it's funny, and I said this on our Nightmare on Elm Street episode that every October I pick a slasher series to rewatch.
Yeah.
It's usually between Halloween. I love them, but every time I watch one, I do end up feeling a little gross.
Yeah.
That's kind of like all the characters are really dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it's just like nudity, and it's just like pure violence. And the violence is cool because, like, Tom Savini's a legend. It's like there's all this cool stuff, but there's nothing challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just.
And it's not supposed to be challenging.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be a very contained. And like I said, even when there's fantastical elements like you have in Nightmare on Elm Street, it's still a very grounded story.
Yes.
It's small town, real people. Like, you feel like you're relating with these people because they feel like real people. They don't feel like characters. This, very purposefully and very well done, everyone felt like a character.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It needed this. It lended itself well to this movie. But yeah, I think the grounded nature of slasher films is what makes them so good for what they are.
Yeah.
And I think this, again, purposefully and very well done, had to leave the grounded nature in order for the satire to work.
It had to make the boring moments count, like when they're in the video store.
Yeah.
So, like,
And like you don't get that smart dialogue where they're having the conversations about horror films and where they're having the conversations where they're like dropping in the tidbits of like, remember, this is what's going on, without saying this is what's going on, or like this is about to happen without physically saying it. Like, you needed that. So yeah, it definitely separates itself.
And I think what I'll close with is, I think what usually defines a slasher is the iconic nature of the killer themselves.
Yeah.
And like Jason, Michael Myers, and whether they're good or dumb or stupid, whatever they are, like Ghostface gets his ass kicked here.
Yeah.
He's like, Ghostface is not, even before you know it's two people.
Yeah.
Like, he's not necessarily like, besides his phone game, that's pretty sleek. That's his most interesting thing, but like, he's not like.
Watching him run I laughed.
Yes.
Like, in the
Which you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because especially after you know that it's Billy and Matthew Lillard's characters, like it makes sense. They're fucking pussies.
Yeah.
They're running like Naruto. Like before Naruto.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
That's something actually that I really appreciated about this is when you do the reveal that they're characters that you've been following along for the whole movie, and Ghostface is not out of nowhere some crazy supernatural being that's like way slicker and smarter than the actual characters who are him. Like, I think that was so well done that you do make him get his ass handed to him so many times because they're just normal fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
Who are also serial killers.
Yes. All of your friends are serial
as
killers.
Normal as
school,
serial killers could be.
Just open the yearbook, drop a dart, you land on a serial killer.
Boom.
So this next question actually kind of piggybacks on that. So this is kind of a hot take I found online. Although Scream had revived, it seemed like it would have revived the horror genre because it was such a bad time. When you look at its predecessors, or the ones that came after, its
successors,
the predecessors, the successors. Did it actually save the horror genre? Because here are the ones that came after. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, Valentine, and also it's worth noting that Kevin Williamson wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer as well. Cursed.
That makes sense.
He wrote that?
Yeah.
It makes sense though, because those are the two movies that Scary Movie parodies.
Yeah. Cursed. Teaching Miss Tingle finally did come out. The Faculty, which was also written by Kevin Williamson. These are all movies that came out after Scream. A lot of them
are all pre-2000.
Some of them dip into the 2000s. Cursed is 2005.
I Know What You Did Last Summer was
Scream
like 2001, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. No, actually 97.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I thought that
Scream
was
2 is 97. Faculty, 98. Teaching Miss Tingle is 99. Scream 3 was 2000. Not Glory Days. Cursed is 2005.
So here's what I think it did. I think because, yes, the immediate successors were trying to figure out how they did that. Mm-hmm. Which I think is the wrong move. I think when something blows up and goes crazy and kind of redefines a genre, I think it's a bad idea to try to do what they did. Because what you see is in the early 2000s, you have a very new advent of horror where we just talked about 28 Days Later. You have Cabin Fever. You have Hostel. You have a lot of these, and Saw 2003. Like, you have a lot of these crazy serious movies that really like bring the grounding to a whole new level and really put you in like a real world fucked up scenario. Because Hostel is one of the few horror movies I have ever seen that has actually like given me a visceral reaction to what's happening on screen.
Yeah, amen to that.
Eli Roth is a crazy person, but he is a genius when it comes to body horror. Like, oh my God, that and The Green Inferno, which came out like 15 years later. Great examples of body horror. But I think what happened was everyone saw Scream. It took off, did really well. Then you had a bunch of people try to redo that. And I mean, I know.
End up falling victim to the satire that Scream set.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's when you had people like James Wan and like Eli Roth who were like, okay, let's take all the good parts of Scream and the movies that it was commentating on, and let's go darker and way more down to earth than anything has ever been.
Do you think the development of technology had something to do with that too? Because
in what way?
Like, I'm thinking of like Hostel and like Saw, like just the way that they were doing darker framing for most of that, like
digital.
Yeah.
Well, those I think were still done on film or on tape at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Digital didn't really take over until like 2006, because Revenge of the Sith was, of the original 6, was the only Star Wars movie shot on digital.
Okay.
So actually, technically, any up-resing that they do beyond 1080p is not real up-resing, because you can't do that. So I don't know if, because I think a lot of people were just experimenting at that point.
Yeah.
We're like so enthused by this one movie and so pissed off by the other movies that came after it that they were like, how do we do this new? How do we do this different?
Well, also like with all the other successors after that too, like Scream had like elements of casting that was good. They had a good stable of directors. I mean, like until like James Wan came along, I like to think that like they just, everything else didn't have that perfect like equation together. So
okay. Is Ghostface the weakest major slasher villain?
Yes.
I mean, physically, yes.
Physically, yes.
I think characterization wise, at least based on this movie, I think he's one of the strongest, most memorable horror villains. But yeah, he's no Michael Myers. He's not even like a Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger comes across like a scrawny little piece of shit, but he's like supernaturally powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 2 teenagers. This is 2 high school seniors, and they're nimble, but they're morons. They're stupid.
That they very obviously like got lucky. Like just watching him try to cut people, I'm like, it's how I would do it if you were like, stab Kyle.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're not very good at it.
I'm not good at it, which is a good thing. But so.
You don't want to up level here.
Yeah.
It's not.
We're glad you're bad at stabbing.
Yeah, I have been a horrible stabber. Predecessor, successor. But yeah, he super. Actually, some of the worst parts of the movie to me are watching Ghostface just kind of futz around.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and as much as I complain about Jason, just like he can just walk and catch up with you, even though you're sprinting full speed, and he'll teleport to where you are, even though we don't know if he's supernatural. Same with Michael Myers. Like Michael Myers in the 6th one, all of a sudden he's the cursed bloodline of a cult, and he's it's like. And I like that there's none of that here. There's no like we're gonna try to lean into supernatural. There's none of that here, and I like that.
Yeah.
But there's like they hint at it. They're like, "Oh, this could be," and then it's like, "No, it's just 2 fucking kids."
Yeah. It's a major deviation from all the other slashers to not have any tendril of supernatural.
Well, especially for Wes Craven's history.
Yeah.
Like his history is all supernatural.
Yeah. And Freddy goes all over the place. I mean, all those movies, like kind of like it suffered the fate of the other ones. It's like all of a sudden we have new genealogies. But all right, little closer question here. Who or what won it for you? Who or what lost it for you?
I think overall the casting is truly what won this movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't think a single person brought less than 100% to whatever role they had, however big or small. I believed, again, even though everything was a little bit more of a caricature than most of the movies in this genre, I believed everyone. I believed that they were who they said they were.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect any of the twists. And I feel like a lot of times when you can predict a twist, it comes down to 2 things, either predictable acting or predictable writing.
Mm-hmm.
And this didn't really have either. Like I was not expecting it to be 2 people by the end of it. Like I was very much taken off guard by that. So I really think ultimately the casting, a little bit of writing, but ultimately the casting is what won it for me. I think weirdly though, what also lost it for me was a little bit of the writing. Like I feel like at times it went a little too meta, and it kind of took me out of it for just a minute. But there wasn't much in this movie that took me out of it. It was only a couple of times here and there. So there wasn't much that lost it for me. But the casting especially won this crazy amount for me.
Yeah, I would say the casting too. I think like the sense of reality too, because like when they're running around a house, you know, and they're like, it's very reality, but like you don't know what the layout is.
Yeah,
I liked that because like when they're chasing around, I'm like, oh, they're realistically, you know, I would be like, hey, go find this person.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know where the hell I'm going, so I like, so I'm gonna go check every room, and that's why it took so long. Some of these chase scenes, and I like that. I think what lost it for me is like I think about when she dials 911 from her computer.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like 2015 stuff.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a cop-out.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
It took me out for like probably a few minutes, honestly.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then the writing kind of brought me back in.
Yeah.
I thought the writing actually brought me back in.
See, that was the thing. I would go back and forth with the writing. Like other times I'm like, this is insanely well written. And then other times I'm like, okay, you're going a little too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this when we were working out. Like, I thought it was weird that the dad, like, didn't hear, like, oh, there's just two of my daughter's classmates who've been murdered.
Yeah.
I should probably, it's like 1996. So you're like, there's not cell phones really around.
He's like, I'm going to the Hilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
Exactly.
I do love a movie like this that really does capture the time of technology, though.
Right.
Because it was crazy that anyone had a cell phone.
Yeah, it was. And yeah, it was perfect for its time.
Yeah.
So.
Movies by and large are just like, I mean, some filmmakers make it really well and use it really well, but like cell phone technology can be really annoying in new movies.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a major cop out in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
What about this app that I made that can solve all our problems?
Yeah. Look at this app I made. It's called Ghostface Catcher. And it tracks all the locations of all the ghost faces that are making phone calls in the vicinity of my house.
That's just part of Scream 7.
Yeah. It's just the whole movie's about making the app. And then like AI disrupts it and they go out of business. They lose all their seed round. I'm not saying that this won it for me, but this had to be a huge win for Jiffy Pop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys not just want to go get some popcorn instantly?
100%.
It's like, fuck yeah, let's go get some Jiffy Pop.
Have you had Jiffy Pop?
Oh, yeah.
I love Jiffy Pop.
We only had Jiffy Pop for a long time.
I feel like, is it still around? Jiffy Pop, come sponsor us.
Yeah, because we don't own a microwave in my house because my wife is super crunchy. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. we haven't had a microwave in 15 years.
You're just out back making popcorn over a fire.
So
your wife is super crunchy.
Crunchy, yeah. You not heard that term? No. Crunchy is like
health
help
stuff.
me.
Yeah.
Help me
Oh
out.
my
Yeah.
God,
Crunchy.
I've never heard
Oh,
that
really?
before.
My wife is that too. So
yeah.
like,
Crunchy means like what's the other word I'm looking for? Like health
oriented,
conscious.
yeah, health conscious.
It's
natural.
just funny. It's just funny because it makes sense because nothing that's ever come out of a microwave has ever been crunchy. So that actually does make a lot of sense.
That's
but
funny.
I've never heard that before.
And like they call it on Facebook. That's why they call them crunchy mom groups. You never heard that phrase?
No.
Yeah, there's crunchy mom groups where they go in there and talk about vaccines and just let your kid rub the chicken pox on the dog. It's fine.
I learn something new every time I do this podcast.
Yeah. But yeah.
I thought it was a new way to be like, my wife is super spicy. We don't have a microwave.
Like it was a term of endearment. She's so crunchy.
That's why I married her, for her crunchy bits.
For her zest.
Yeah. We don't have a microwave and she has like special shielding on her cell phone. Love you, babe.
The house is a Faraday cage.
I used to do a bit about it, but one time she got this ant. We had an ant problem in the yard. And she got this organic ant killer, and it smelled like hot cocoa. And like I swear to God, I put it on the anthills, and the ants wouldn't die. It's like they wanted more of it. They were like, "This stuff is so good." They're like, "They're not."
That's how it kills the ants. Is it makes them dependent on you to feed them, and then they just die.
It makes them overweight.
And you're just reading the bag Nestle.
Yeah. So they're no longer worker ants.
No,
Yeah.
They're welfare ants, and they're fat.
They're fat. They're welfare ants.
Yeah.
They don't.
Damn organic ant killer.
They're training the organic ant killer system.
What happened to this country?
Give me
It's
raid.
been overrun by ants. That's what happened.
Fat ants just sitting around. Give me raid, the hard stuff.
Is Trump just like 10 million ants in a trench coat?
That's what he is.
that
Yeah,
what
he is. Yeah.
Army ants.
Yeah. Sponsored by Whole Foods.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I don't even know how to come back from that. That was great. We haven't had
Jiffy Pop.
We haven't had a moment like that in a while. I love it.
Hell yeah.
So
I guess the Warzone.
Yeah, the word. Well, I gotta say who won it for me.
Yes.
Besides Jiffy Pop, I'll tell you. I really loved. I just love Wes Craven.
Yeah.
I love that he got interested in the meta thing. I love that he successfully made a satire that is not a comedy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It has funny moments, but it's definitely not a comedy.
It's a really hard balance. I don't think people realize how hard that balance is to make a horror movie that's also a satire, but that's not a comedy.
Yeah.
And it's not Scary Movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
It was really brilliant.
Yeah. And took a bunch of young, like mostly TV actors like Nev Campbell and like really
Courtney Cox,
assembled a cast of people that have never really done horror.
Yeah.
And I will say this, it's not scary to me. It's not a scary movie, but it's still
It had moments. It had a moment here that there was literally 2 jump scares that I actually was like, oh shit, no, that actually took it out of me.
But what lost it for me, kind of like you, there was one thing that took me out of the movie hardcore, and it was this line. I had to bring it up because I don't know if I can say it without laughing. I just thought maybe we could do a little on top of the clothes stuff.
But also, isn't that the most high school shit
that
you've
is
ever
very
heard?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he adds that after, and that whole piece of dialogue when he sneaks into a room lost me because he's like, when he starts, and I get it, this is meta, it's about movies, it's actually the first horror movie to ever reference other horror movies in history.
Oh,
So that's a big thing. Because it's Halloween and Psycho, it's referencing all these movies, but
which I love how much shit they give Wes Craven in this movie.
Yeah, he
Like,
takes
he takes it like a champ.
He talks about how bad the other Nightmare on Elm Street, But then the kid was like, I thought we could take it from a PG-13 to an R, and then on top of that whole, I did have a moment where like I'm going to turn this shit off. If this doesn't course correct very quickly, I can't do any more of this dialogue.
Is that not how you're supposed to talk to a woman?
I guess not. I guess I'm trying to imagine if I said that to my crunchy wife.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, say that to your crunchy
Can we do
wife.
some on top of the clothes stuff? I mean, and again, I've said this about other movies like this. I said this about Superbad. I just wasn't invited to parties.
Yeah.
I was not popular. So I'm always starting off behind with teen movies.
Yeah.
I'm always behind the 8 ball because I'm
You're
like,
trapped in the 90s.
Yeah. I'm like, they did these things at parties. There was on top of the clothes stuff.
There were parties.
Wow.
So anyway, that chunk, I think it's actually really well written because, like I said, the balance is really hard to strike. But that chunk of dialogue,
See, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
The writing, there are very clear moments where the writing is a clear winner. And then there are other times where I'm like, okay, all right, let's move on.
Shut up with that. I mean, the fact.
Skeet Ulrich, though, I will give this to you. You delivered that line in the best way you possibly could.
Yes, Johnny Depp 3.0.
You did whatever you could do with that.
We're going to wrap it up with a war zone. Lots of great discussion today, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember, 4 categories: cast, writing, directing, and then film composition. And that's everything that's not included in the first 3. That's editing, colorization, stunts, whatever you want to add.
Sound
music.
design, music.
Yeah. Which music we haven't talked about yet. So we'll talk about. We should talk about that because that is the most 90s thing going on in this movie.
Is the music, yeah.
What do you?
So casting, absolutely perfect. Like every single person, like I said earlier, gave it 100%. Amazing. I never once questioned the people. Sure, there were some lines, which I'll get to in a minute, but I never once questioned the people. So casting's 100% a yes. Writing, it is a squeak over. Most of it was good. As we just discussed, there's some moments that just pulls you right back out of it, and you're like, okay, we're either going too far into the meta or too far into the how do teenagers talk. So it's fine. It's nothing that made me hate the movie, but yeah, I think the writing is both the strongest and the weakest part of the movie. Directing, flawless. Wes Craven, you took what started as one of the most iconic horror movies and careers, took a little bit of a dip and came back to make fun of yourself and to have fun with horror again. So good on you. Great job. And then everything, film composition, I do think this is one of the best soundtracks, both original music and sync music that I've heard from a 90s movie ever. Like, not once did a sync feel out of place. Now, and this was my biggest critique of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, you hated that
soundtrack. I actually didn't like the soundtrack for it.
Right.
It was fine, but
Random
it was nothing
electric guitar.
Crazy. Yeah. This, perfect.
Yeah.
So good. So it's 300% and 1 squeak over for me.
Yeah.
Casting was perfect. I mean, like, I love with the casting that they took these TV actors and like even in the big reveal when the two of them are explaining everything, like I liked the banter that they were. It almost seemed like it was improv where they're like, you got to do this. I'm like, I can't. You just stabbed me.
Yeah.
Like, I liked that. It felt like improv.
Too deep, man.
That was so good.
The writing was very funny. I liked it from the satirical aspect, but I think that honestly, in some of the seriousness, they were doing the best they could. I agree with Seth on that. Directing was fantastic. I think it was just by chance it ended up honestly coming the way it did. Obviously, you have an artist and everyone else, but it just came well. And then, the music was awesome. Like, the only thing it was missing was maybe like a Dave Matthews song.
He wakes up in the morning. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I love that. Casting is a squeak over for me. I do love the cast. There are just moments where... And it's funny, it takes place in Woodsboro, California, but I don't ever feel like it's super implicit.
Yeah.
Because Matthew Lillard sounds like a surfer.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man. And I'm just like, he kind of grated on my nerves. And he's a guy I like. I like him. And he was in Summer of Sam, which is that Spike Lee movie. He's really good in that. But I just kind of found his character to be a little grating. I found Nev Campbell to always be, just kind of like what is that? What's the word? Menacing, kind of like, just always kind of like, my mom died. She was a slut. Look,
but she had to be the one straight character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Drew Barrymore, for her limited time, showed an amazing amount of range from going from cutesy teenager to, petrified. Like, she kills that.
As we saw in Scary Movie, that scene could have been terrible and hilarious, but instead it was actually very well, seriously done.
It was almost ahead of its time.
Yes.
It was for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about how timeless that opening scene is. I mean, that in and of itself, that defines the movie for a lot of people, is that first 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, there's just some characters that I'm a little, and I don't like Jamie Kennedy here. He does, anytime he talks, he's so, like when he's screaming in the video store, like why does he all of a sudden, is he just screaming? And he does it again later, it's just like, he's always just screaming. I'm like, what? Why?
Because that's what teenagers do. They yell in the middle of stores.
It is.
So,
you can't be so deep, man. I can't keep going back to that. Lillard was just so like, oh, dude, do you surf? Like, are you a surfer?
There's a reason he was perfect for Shaggy.
Yes. But I think it was in some ways was really great, but there was just a few castings.
That's fair though.
Yeah,
that's valid.
Mostly those two. As far as writing goes, again, it's a squeak over because I think, again, the balance that it struck was perfect. It's so hard to do what they did, but some of the lines, like I already mentioned, what? Just what? And maybe again, I didn't get invited. I didn't have a lot of friends. I wasn't popular. I didn't know there were parties. Maybe they talked about on top of the clothes stuff. Maybe I just missed it. But some of the lines did not only did not resonate, they kind of repulsed me. So,
but
it sounded like a police officer talking to a kid who was a victim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, tell me where.
Tell me where. On top of the clothes. Shoelaces. What?
Just tell me, Nev. Just tell me.
Just tell me where. And one more thing about the writing. Like, I know they struggled actually well into filming. Like, they were still trying to nail down what the deal was with Sydney's mom.
Yeah.
And I just kind of think it's like, that just kind of the default was your mom's a whore. Can we just talk about... This is so natural to all people. It's just like, that's not a movie. That's just life. It's like, dude, your mom is a slut.
And they show a photo of her, and she's like, oh, that seems like a banker.
Like this was the origin of all your mom jokes.
Yes, your mom is a whore. So anyway, I thought that was funny. That was the default. It's like, they kind of just gave up on that part. But as far as where am I at? Directing, fantastic. This is interesting because Wes Craven's directing a movie he didn't write, he wrote and partook in the writing, and I'm trying to remember how many of the Nightmare on Elm Street. Eventually, he stopped writing.
I feel like he did the first 4 at least.
Yeah, and then I think it was 4 or 5 where he was until New Nightmare. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting watching him direct something he didn't write.
Yeah.
And I think, did he write The Hills Have Eyes? It's interesting, and it's. And this is challenging. This comes from a first-time writer.
Yeah.
This is the first script from Kevin Williamson. Yeah, Wes Craven wrote Hills Have Eyes as well. Okay. So he was directing a lot of things he wrote, and this is him. And the changes with the music.
Yeah.
I think he realized that in order to satire himself, he was going to have to not give in to some of those tendencies that he knows he has.
Yeah.
And I give him that. Like, that's huge. I mean, he took it on the chin. He took it like a champ.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
100%.
In his own movie. Like, there's no ego here.
Yeah.
So, and I just think it's well done. I just think it was different. There's a reason why it was the highest grossing slasher of all time. It made it accessible to people. It actually wasn't overly brutal.
Yeah.
No.
There was just a lot about it. I liked his taste in music was great here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then film composition. Yeah, I love the 90s tunes here. I just love 90s movies were so unapologetic. Like, original scores were so popular before.
Yeah.
Like, going into the 90s and 2000s, like, original scores like Scorsese, like, yeah, he did needle drops, but there was also Taxi Driver had that symphonic.
Oh, yeah. John Williams was at the height of his career.
And, you know, a lot of directors love to use symphony and stuff. Like, we're going to talk about Ben-Hur and, like, just soaring soundscapes. But then the 90s is like, we're using 90s tunes, man. We're using whatever's on the Billboard chart. That's what's going in our movie. And that's what they did. And
it was beautiful.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, it was very complimentary.
Yeah, so I dig it. I think the editing's great. You don't talk about the cinematography a lot, but there's some good stuff going on here. I mean,
it's nothing crazy, but it fits everything so well.
Yeah, so that's 2 yeses and 2 squeaks for me, but overall, like, what an enjoyable
film.
Very
pleasantly surprised. So yeah. Hopefully, Scream 7 is even a little bit as good.
Yeah, hopefully it's a Scream.
Yeah.
Not a cause.
Is Nev Campbell in this one?
I think so.
I think so.
Have mercy.
Okay, I got to bring this up. So there's this comedian that I know. Is this Nev Campbell? This is a comedian. I thought that, like, when I saw this, I was like, that's my friend Lace.
It's like Nev Campbell if she got a lot of plastic surgery.
More like Naive Campbell.
Naive Campbell.
Coming at you with the zingers.
Maybe it's the 90s framing.
Yeah, maybe so. Throw a denim jacket and some bootcut jeans on her.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you.
And then chase her in the parking lot.
Yeah. And then chase her and see how she reacts. And we'll tell you. But dude, it was so great to have you back, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It's
Tell everyone where they can follow you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at John Datoy, and I'll also be in Goshen, Indiana, March 20th and 21st, playing the Funny Farm, headlining that club.
First time headlining.
First time headlining a weekend. So
congrats.
Cool. Yeah.
If you're not in the stand-up comedy world, you have no idea how damn hard that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the club's okay with it, I might come and open for him. So let's see. We might see.
We'll sell.
And I'm just going to go to Goshen.
Yeah.
Just to be in Goshen. I'm not going to do any stand-up.
It's a good word.
I'm just going to sit at a gas station and go, so, Goshen. On that note, I'm Kyle. I love you.
I'm Seth.
And I'm John.
We'll see you next time.
The Movie Wars.